Hello, welcome to Ennara Reacts. And today I'm continuing with Brandon Herrera's Worst Internet Gun Fails, number 7, Darwin Awards. So let's see how bad people messed up this time.
And there we go. There we have it. As someone who shot into a lot of dirt in his day, that was a 9mm impact. What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers, and welcome back to another episode of the Darwin Awards. One of my most loved series by you guys, and easily one of the most hated by YouTube. I'm your host, Brandon Herrera, and as we all know, guns are awesome. Idiots, not so much. When you put the two of those things together, sometimes you get a candidate for a Darwin Award. Darwin Award, of course, is the fictional award you get for removing yourself from the gene pool and continuing to help evolution. Now, the primary purpose of these videos is to try to be educational. Yes, I'm going to be making some dark jokes. The idea is to give you guys, especially some of you newer gun owners out there, some real-world practical examples of when shit goes kind of sideways when people didn't follow the basic rules of gun safety. So that in mind, let's break into our first clip. We start this video in the most logical place I could think of. It's Russia. So we have our Russian friend here who appears to be armed with a Nagant revolver. Cutting right to the chase, I don't approve of what he's about to do with it.
What the hell, man? Why
This
would
dude
you
is like
do
everybody
that?
I get in a gunfight with in Tarkov. So yeah, we have our homeboy here who's wearing an Alton helmet, which is one of the very heavy-duty ballistic Russian military helmets with the visor. And yeah, they put it to the test.
You could put that to the
I
test
believe
without
it goes
it being
without
on a live
saying,
person.
don't try this at home. This is pretty fucking stupid. One of the basic rules of gun safety says never point a weapon at anything you're not willing to destroy. That also includes your friend. And for our purposes, I don't really think that changes if there's body armor in the equation. I want to say this is fake, though. There's a couple things that make me think that. For one, watch the recoil. Now, the recoil is a little too much, I think, for that pistol. And you can see it comes after. It comes after he pulls the trigger. I think he shoots a blank here, because we also don't see the helmet beforehand. If I had to guess, I think they probably shot the helmet first and then staged this video, because look at his reaction. Yeah, you see that little distortion on the helmet there, the bullet impact mark? If this is a higher quality video, I think that's it right there on the right side. So Russians can be fucking crazy, but apparently these ones aren't that crazy. I hope.
Yeah, that would be messed up.
Very possible that this is real and they're just idiots. Also, it's funny I made a Tarkov joke a second ago because this totally looks like customs. Also, if you got that reference and you're a fan of Escape from Tarkov, or you just like Russian guns in general, you might want to go ahead and subscribe. We do that here. Speaking of almost taking a bullet to the noggin, let's move on to the next clip. We can't actually use the original TikTok music for this, so Delance just, I guess, put the Star Wars blaster effect over this. Oh, fuck. Let's watch that again. So what this young man has just done is accidentally basically bump fired a revolver. By trying to retain control of the gun, trying to, keep down the recoil of something that, frankly, he was just not prepared to handle, he accidentally put enough pressure on the trigger to squeeze off a second round. It just so happened that second round, the gun barrel was not pointed downrange, but instead, rather, almost the complete 180 of that. Homeboy was about 30 degrees from making a serious fucky-wucky and having to get into the forever box. The reason this is possible, and unfortunately I don't have a double-action revolver around here to demonstrate with. Got some of these, though. On a single-action revolver, you have to manually pull the hammer back in order to be able to pull the trigger and fire a round. And just so you know, this is completely unloaded. So when I have the hammer forward and I pull the trigger, absolutely nothing happens, because the only thing that the trigger does on a single-action weapon like this is allow you to drop the hammer. On a double-action revolver, you have a stiffer trigger pull with the hammer down, but what that does is it has a mechanism inside that also, by pulling that heavier trigger pull, will cock the hammer as you pull the trigger, and then, of course, let off so you can fire another round. Unfortunately, if you stick a very man-sized caliber into the hands of a 100-pound individual like this, that can also lead to serious accidents.
Yeah, I had a revolver. The kick was
pretty
too
sure
much
we've shown stuff like this
for
in the
my
channel
wrist.
before.
I had to exchange
If you
it for
want to shoot
something
a
else.
caliber of weapon that you can't handle, especially a handgun, I don't recommend it, but if you're going to do it, please only load the gun with one bullet. In fact, that's good advice in general. If you're letting somebody shoot something for the first time and you're not really comfortable with where they're at gun-wise, always load one round to kind of feel them out. If you feel like someone's a little inexperienced, there is no reason to hand them a full magazine. That way you can avoid shit like this.
Are those the towering sliders?
I know what you're thinking already. Brandon, you're that many minutes in and nobody's actually gotten shot yet. All right. I'm getting there. Calm your weird violence boners. Oh yeah, you already know this next one's gonna end super well. So Homeboy is showing his significant other and or, maybe hopeful soon-to-be significant other how to shoot a handgun. Nothing super obviously wrong right off the bat. They're a little close together. Considering his arms are a lot longer than hers, that can be a bad thing. So he has some sort of malfunction, I guess? I'm not really sure. But she's already backing away. She's sketched out. I wonder what sketchy shit he's done earlier today. And there we go. There we have it. Just like the last Darwin Awards, the first one we have is somebody taking a bullet is reholstering. At a somewhat aggressive angle, too. Oh, fuck. I want you to see either way the impact it makes on the dirt. It is very visible under his foot. As someone who shot into a lot of dirt in his day, that was a 9mm impact. But yeah, shit like this happens, man. You gotta be paying attention to what you're doing when you're reholstering. Some people aren't thinking, they're in a rush, they leave their finger on the trigger, they reholster, it engages the trigger. It can be something as easy as getting snagged on a piece of clothing. You just have to pay attention. I'm not necessarily saying that's what happened here, but I am wondering if Homeboy was a little too preoccupied with what he was planning on doing with his other gun to focus on the one he had in his hand. Also, I'm really wondering what this lady says as soon as it happens.
Yes, important.
Alright, so let's check this one out real quick. When your shitbox won't start and you have had enough. Damn. This one was sent to me as a Darwin Award, but it's definitely not, but I do kind of feel it. I don't condone this kind of behavior, but I feel you, bro.
Is dead.
So next up, we have kind of an interesting new twist for the Darwin Awards, but before we get to that, we have probably the funniest choice of sponsor for this video in particular that I could possibly think of. See, videos like this pretty much never get monetized, or at least stay monetized, so we want to thank our sponsor for this video, Geology. That's right, this episode of Darwin Awards is brought to you by Men's Skincare. God help me, I have no clue how I'm going to integrate this. I'm going to try. See, nobody ever talks about taking care of men's skin, so if you don't want to end up looking like me, or looking like you're 32 and you're 26, you might want to start looking
Probably
into
the
it
best
now.
way to take
They've
care of your
stuff like
skin is to
everyday
not
face
shoot
wash.
yourself.
They've got morning skin cream. They've got nighttime skin cream. Fight acne, prevent wrinkles, take care of those dark circles under your eyes. Honestly, as much as I've been sleeping lately, it's probably a good idea. So go ahead and check out the links down in the description, the pinned comment. Get up to 70% off on your 30-day trial. Take care of your skin, look hot. Now back to Darwin. All right, so this next bit takes a weird turn. So there was a weird internet trend that started probably a couple of years ago now called Point Gun at Venus, where you pointed a gun at your penis. I'm assuming this was to get around the censors, of course. This kind of behavior isn't exactly condoned by most social media sites. But this was a completely stupid trend that literally was just videos of guys taking a loaded firearm, pointing it at their dick, and almost pulling the trigger. As a dude, if you can watch that and not cringe, there's something fucking wrong with you. Now, it goes without saying, this is violating at least 3 of the main rules of gun safety. And to you Europeans, no, this is not what Americans are like with firearms. Trust me, this is a fringe group of guys, and we think they're idiots too. It's kind of funny in like a fucked up, edgy way, but as the whole, internet challenge trend thing goes, this is arguably probably the most dangerous, right next to the milk crate challenge. It got wildly out of hand to the point where Vice was writing articles about it. And if you think this is just kind of one of those, maybe there's a couple of instances of this and then the media just blew it up out of proportion, you'd be absolutely incorrect. There is a shocking amount of these videos.
I'm not going there to die. I'm going to find out if I'm really alive.
I found a cheat code for getting in shape for summers, and it has nothing to do with the gym. Every summer, I'd plan to lock in. Then suddenly, it'd be July, and I'd already let myself down. Factor helped me finally break that cycle. Before, I really struggled with meal prepping myself. It took hours to shop and cook. Now...
Dummy round? Hopefully. Also, I'm just now noticing that was a Cowboy Bebop reference with the fucking Jericho. See you, Space Cowboy. I don't know if we will. I shouldn't laugh at this. This is really fucked up. So anybody with 3 brain cells to rub together. Well, okay, nobody with 3 brain cells to rub together.
Well, definitely painful. I'm not
the upper
sure
echelon
shooting
of the
that
tards
particular
making these
part off
videos would have used a dummy round or something like that to make it look like they had a live round of ammo, and then immediately pointing that at their ding-a-ling, the twig and cherries. That was until a pretty widely publicized incident where somebody accidentally... It's hard to call that an accident. Somebody shot themselves in the fucking balls. Somebody shared the photos to social media, and the photos of the aftermath, including a lot of, bloody carpet.
Might have
which
effed
immediately
up?
screams staged, because nobody's
I don't
dumb
think
enough to
there's any
actually
might
point
about
a
it.
loaded gun at their cock. That's where you're wrong, kiddo. According to the article, this was actually confirmed by the San Diego Police Department as true.
Of course, San Diego.
Of fucking course he was in California. But weird, you have a fucked up internet challenge where you point a loaded gun at your junk and then just kind of play with the trigger a little bit, and some people are getting shot in the dick. Huh. What are the odds? And by all accounts, this is not the only instance of that happening. Guys, this is what happens when you overdose on Weekend Gun It. Also probably one of the things that may have forced r/Weekend Gun It to go bye-bye, or at least go underground. A digital speakeasy for the armed and mentally challenged. But yes, I'm calling this a Darwin Award on technicality. Nobody ever said you had to die to get a Darwin Award. You just remove yourself from the gene pool, aka not able to reproduce.
Which
I would say a
definitely
high-speed
does.
115 grain vasectomy counts. Also, no reason to be sexist here. Women can give themselves this kind of Darwin Award as well. Just recently in the news, of course it's US news, god damn it. Gun blunder. Webcam model accidentally shoots herself in the vajayjay while filming X-rated clip for fans. Since when is having an OnlyFans account turning into death sports? Don't know who needs to hear this, but
Why would you put a
firearms
gun
are
anywhere
not
near there?
adult toys. Well, they're toys in the way that they're fun and can be used by adults, but not sexually. Don't fuck a gun. I also feel like I have to be perfectly clear with this one. This is the first and last time I will ever talk about this on the Darwin Awards. Do not be an idiot and go film a video like this and think that you're going to get noticed or be on the channel or something. I promise you, it won't. At the very best, it makes you a moron, and at the very worst, a eunuch. Try getting recognition by doing something positive for the gun community. Because I can promise you this, no amount of internet attention is worth a Darwin Award. So yeah, another episode of the Darwin Awards with a couple of winners by technicality. Hopefully this video is educational for you, and if it wasn't, at least it was entertaining. Videos like this usually get demonetized, if not age restricted, so if you want to help out the channel, you can go check out the merch down in the links in the description and in the pinned comment, and be sure to subscribe. It does help. That's all I've got for you guys in this episode. I appreciate you watching to the end, and as always, I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video.
Okay. What the hell is wrong with people? Who comes up with these stupid challenges? I mean, the Tide Pod thing, something with throwing boiling water on people, these making like you're gonna shoot yourself in the junk thing. Who the hell comes up with this and says, "Ooh, that sounds like fun. That's a good idea." I mean, seriously, what the hell is wrong with people? Is somebody out there devising these things just to purposely take out the idiots? I don't understand. There you go. Definitely Darwin Awards. If you got any recommendations for other videos or anything to watch, drop it in the comments, and thanks for watching. Remember to hit like and subscribe.